Hey folks, it's Patriot Nurse. In today's segment, I want to discuss with you the role of people who have physical limitations in your survival group. Ooh, there's so many ways I can go with this, but I want to start with first an observation. The observation that I have is in the preparedness community, I do see a tendency to discount people who have physical limitations and to essentially say, okay, well, they're going to be the first to be triaged out, or if they don't pull their weight, then somehow that they're of lesser value. And that is just not true. And let me follow that observation with a quick little story and then an anecdote personally. So a few years ago, I was on a radio show, and on the radio show, they were going around and they were asking people, essentially, if you were the leader of your survival group, how would you handle scenario A? And the scenario in one particular instance that was given was you have two twins. And one of the twins is essentially wheelchair-bound, nonverbal, and is not a physically active contributing member of the group. And the other twin is the opposite, capable, full, physical, no physical limitations, anything like that. And of course, in this scenario, there was an outbreak of something requiring, of course, antibiotics, and you only had so much to give. You only had one effective dose that could be given. Who gets it? The person in the wheelchair or the person who is not in the wheelchair? And what do you suppose happened? Take a guess. The majority of the contestants or the participants were saying, to give it to the person who was not in the wheelchair, etc., because we have to triage, who gets what. And I actually did not take that stance, and there were two reasons for that. The first is that, in general, people who are otherwise physically healthy, capable, and active are far more able to withstand and combat and overcome infectious disease. So, dude already has a decent chance. And if you take care of a few main things, which I go over in my class, you're going to be able to come out usually on top. The other part of the scenario is that quite often you will find that just because an individual, for instance, isn't physically capable, they can be capable in other ways. And oftentimes you will find that it's the people who have limitations that other people don't. They are the ones who oftentimes support the group morale, which is critically important. And a few days ago, I got the opportunity to see one of my friends again, who I've known for over 20 years, I think at this point, Mr. Eddie. And Mr. Eddie he watches all my videos. I love you so much. I love you guys so much. Mr. Eddie has a diagnosis of ALS, Lou Gehrig's disease, and it's been progressing. But Mr. Eddie, when I got to interact with him, had this look of determination in his eyes, just strength and courage from his faith. And that resolve and that courage is contagious. Courage is contagious. And in Mr. Eddie's case, he inspired me, and I left that meeting being able to interact with him. I left that a more recharged person. And you find that a lot of times. During adversity, during tough times, we need encouragement. We need our spirits to be lifted up. We need someone to bolster other people. And he did that. He did that for me and for everybody else in that room. And I just want to thank you, Mr. Eddie, because you're awesome. And you inspire me to continue getting through little piddling stuff in comparison, right? You inspire me and you encourage me to persist and to not give up and to fight. And we need that. We need that in groups. We need that morale. We need that refreshment. People need refreshment, especially in tough times. So it may be, for those of you out there who have physical limitations, it may be that you're not able to contribute in that particular way, that you're not able to contribute physically, but you have the ability to support people in prayer. You have the ability to encourage people. You can find out the things that you can do. And every person, if you have consciousness, can contribute some way to a group, even if it's just with prayer or encouragement or positivity. Everyone can contribute, and everyone has value and meaning. And quite often, folks, you will find that the morale of the group is based on how we treat the people who are, in many cases, the least capable. right? But they are far more capable in other ways. Every person has a strength and an ability that has been given to them. So I want to encourage you guys in your own application when thinking about this. I know a lot of you guys, and a lot of my students who come to class, they have people in their family who in many cases have extreme physical needs and extreme limitations physically. But there are things that we can do. There are things that individuals who are physically limited can do to support the group that no one else can do. You've been given a call and a gift and a reason. And Mr. Eddie, you encouraged me to continue in mine, and I just want to thank you for that. We love you guys so much. Thank you. For those of you who have been new to the channel, you can subscribe to me. You can click the little red button on YouTube. You can also support me on Patreon. For $5 a month, you get my little newsletter. For $1 a month, you're a Patriot Buddy, so you can continue seeing the videos on Patreon. And then I have other tiers as well, so I'll put a link in the description box below for you guys. I just wanted to encourage you and share a little bit of what it meant to me to interact with a dear friend over the past few days. And so thanks, Mr. Eddie. We appreciate y'all, and we love you very much. For now, it's Patriot Nurse signing off. I'll see y'all later. Bye.